why is it in every single media adaptation of like D&D or a class system, it's always a barbarian and never do you see a fighter.
But we
Always a
got
barbarian.
Paladin. We got
Yeah,
Paladin, baby.
always a paladin, always a barbarian. Those are like
Always a bridesmaid, never a
never
fighter.
a fighter.
That's what I heard too.
Welcome to Reshoot, amateurs in no suits. Too many movies to explore. Ruthie, Hector, and Ed, laughter till the end. Let's see something never done before.
They're not boring
I'm-
like everyone else says.
Partial to a barbarian.
Yeah,
A good barb is always, it's a classic.
Barbarian's classic. Although I'm also with Ed, I like fighters, but that's also because I've read Berserk.
Okay, fighters are like, they're good in like actual D&D. I don't think if you're trying to make a promotional material wouldn't be my first pick either.
But
they are a
it's
one-trick
always a
pony.
barbarian every single time.
How many
you can
fighter
have-
subclasses have social or other like non-fighting ability? Not many. It's all combat based.
Yeah, but they're cool and they're very vanilla, like barbarians.
Yeah, that's the problem.
I just need love for my literal favorite class, please.
Well, my favorite class is a rogue, and like everyone was part rogue, so it was well covered.
Except for the actual rogue. He didn't feel like a rogue.
Mhm,
Yeah.
mhm.
Yeah, that was weird. That was
Mhm.
weird.
All right. Do you want to give our... I guess we
Who's
should
a
just... Do you guys
mastermind?
want to introduce yourselves?
Sure. I'll go first. Hi, everybody.
Oh, name
My
and favorite
name-
class.
Oh, my name is Leah. I am the DM and producer of Slay the Stars. My favorite class is Monk, which we did not get in the movie, but that's fine. Because of course not.
Oh, bullshit, but all right.
We'll get it in the second one. Don't worry.
Yeah.
We won't
yeah,
see a fighter at all, ever.
Everything but fighter. In fact, they'll make
Literally,
comments.
that's what's gonna happen. We're gonna see
That's
a
it.
freaking
We have
artificer.
all the classes, guys. All 11 of them. Or however many there are minus fighter.
All right. Well, I am Jen. I play Zamira Kaltain on our Slay the Stars podcast. I am also the graphics designer. My favorite character, like I said, is Rogue. But I do like to, oh my gosh, what's it called? Multi-class with just about anything else.
Rogue's always a good dip.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Arthur Polino. I am I play Shar on the Slay the Stars podcast. I'm also the audio engineer. My favorite class is Artificer. However, if you are counting vanilla rules, my favorite class is Wizard. Although I've played everything up to this point, I have no real favorites. Although Artificer is just that little smidge what I crave.
We never thought this far ahead. Who wants to go on our crew first?
You.
Okay.
You do it.
Fine.
You do it.
Sorry, I didn't mean to poke you.
No,
so
fine. I am Therai. That's my monk's name because monk's my favorite class. I'm actually Hector.
I am Ruthie, and I love a good paladin. Even our paladins who don't do smites.
The worst paladins.
My name is Ed, and I like fighters because I'm boring, I guess.
Basic bitch.
But have you seen the Echo Knight?
Yes, I've
That's so
played Echo
cool.
Knight. You just weren't there.
It's so cool.
It is really cool.
No.
It does what it
you
says
wanna
on the
do is- One of my favorites is I play a samurai half elf fighter. So if I take that half elf feat, I can get triple advantage. I get triple advantage. Plus, I can
Yes.
choose advantage when I want to 3 times a day. It is very nice.
Advantage stacks like that?
No.
Only for a half elf. If you pick the half elf feat, yes.
Wait, how does it stack?
Does it
You get a
stack?
third
Do you roll
dice.
like 4?
Yeah.
You can roll 4 times?
No, you
Yeah.
roll 3 times and you pick the best of the 3.
Yeah, it's
But
called
as
like
a-
Elven Accuracy.
it stacks
or
like
whatever.
that?
Oh.
Yes,
it stacks like
does.
that. And as a samurai fighter, one of my subclass features is I can.
You can choose to have advantage. It's either 3 times or your charisma mod.
3 times.
Ah.
See,
I couldn't
charisma mod
remember.
makes more sense,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, then you can't play human fighter. You'd have to do elven fighter, which is a little too spicy for you.
Yeah, a little too spicy. I mean, how many people played human fighter for their first D&D ever? Oh,
Wow,
it seems to be
crickets.
crickets,
Halfling paladin.
halfling paladin. Yeah,
Wait.
human fighter.
Is
I guess I'm
everyone's
lame.
favorite their first character?
No, I was a drow sorcerer.
Yep.
Nope.
I
I
was
was
a
a half elven bard.
gnome rogue. Yeah, see, when I called bullshit earlier, I was calling bullshit on you.
I know you were. Listen, I used to always say bard. As a matter of fact, if you listen to the first time I was on this show, if that question was asked, I might have said bard. But it's monk, man. I just want to keep coming back to monk. It's a lot of fun.
Deflect missiles is a hell of a drug.
Yeah.
Oh, there is nothing more fun than catching a projectile and then throwing it back at the person who dared try to hurt you.
Especially when it's a big honking ballista and it just did like
Yes.
a shit ton of damage.
Yes. Or like falling off a cliff and just 3-point hero land at the bottom. Just so cinematic.
I
So
sent
good.
those sword projectiles at you when you joined us for that one game, Leah. Remember?
You did.
That was
Yeah.
fun. Yeah.
It was great. It was a great time.
Why do I hear bongos?
I kicked the mic stand.
Oh, you're fine.
No, Jen just pulled out the bongos. She was like, "This needs some background music."
Yeah. Yep.
Jen's
This
like,
is
this
a
is what
vibe.
I do.
I'm usually a rogue. I'm a bard today.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, today we are reshooting Dungeons and Dragons: Honor Among Thieves.
Woo!
Woo! I'm excited for this. Can't you tell?
You sound really
I
excited.
can hear it in your voice.
Yeah. I don't have the synopsis ready.
How are we gonna? Do you guys all want to work together to do a synopsis of what happens? Or do you
But
want
that's gonna take like 3 hours if we all just like, oh, but this happened also, kind of stuff. We're gonna get nitpicky. Maybe.
I'm gonna vote for Arthur's In a World.
Make him do the movie cinema voice.
You're
What
gonna
you want me to just try to
voluntold him?
figure it out?
Yeah.
What you want me to just like find the synopsis real quick, or just tell it from memory?
Voluntold and read it to us in your best movie man voice.
Oh, that'd be
I mean,
fun.
Give me a second.
In a world.
In a world.
I'd
that's actually
apologize,
really
but
good.
I'm not sorry at all.
I know.
I feel like Arthur is our Ed.
What?
Mm-hmm.
No, Arthur is your version of
Yes,
our Ed.
I know what you mean. Yes. Yes.
Wait, what? Why?
A charming thief and band of unlikely adventurers embark on an epic journey to retrieve a lost relic. But their charming adventure goes dangerously awry when they run afoul of the wrong people.
Nice.
Perfect.
Beautiful.
Got you.
Short, sweet, to the
Beautiful.
point.
So I guess do y'all want to roll for initiative? See who goes first?
Yes.
Oh man.
Do we add our decks to this?
No,
No, because mine is like a negative
because
2.
you and I will fight over who has more decks,
Well-
Ed.
No, we all have negative modifiers, obviously.
I do parkour.
We're
no,
not
I don't.
superheroes.
Wait,
Pride
do you
dice.
actually do parkour? Is that a
I
thing?
actually, yes, I actually have video footage from yesterday's training session.
You get a -1.
I'm going to need you to send this because I want to see it.
I'll add to it's like a little thing I was working on in the intermediate class, but yeah, sure.
My
Heck
my
yeah.
dice, my nice dice have failed me.
Isn't that how it is?
Yeah, I
No,
rolled.
I
very
tested
poorly.
them.
That's
It'd be
what,
like
That's why they failed you. You tested them. You just roll with it.
Let me
Roll
write
with
it down on the message here. I'm gonna ask Arthur.
But if I
9.
don't,
9.
If we're doing modifiers, 7.
Okay, I'll respect the modifier. 7. Jen.
2.
It's
Yeah.
Dex Dex mod, right?
Leia.
Well, that would be a big old 4.
We're killing it.
We're doing.
You guys have a D&D podcast.
I know.
Yeah.
We
All
only
right,
roll
Ruthie.
well when the situation doesn't
if
matter.
you want, okay, I rolled a 4, but if I have a -2 to Dex, it's a 2.
Okay.
Or if you want to put me at a 3, so we're not at 2.
Okay, I'll put Ruthie at a 3.
Or put me at a 1. I don't know.
No,
What'd
no,
you
you're
get,
a 3.
Hector?
I feel bad. I have actually Ruthie's right there. I have a 18, but if I on the dice, but if I have a minus
Oh,
one,
shit,
this is
okay.
17.
You don't have a -1.
What do I
I was
have?
gonna say, if you're out
You
here
should have
doing
a +1.
parkour,
No,
yeah,
you
plus
should
one,
no,
plus
or
two.
just a 0, or just a
No.
0.
No, the
No, he's
average
more
person
Okay,
can't
fine.
parkour.
I'm debating either if I'm -1 or 0.
Ed, I have raced you your -1. I'm sorry.
That's not whatever. Fine, 13. 13.
Okay. God, I'm always worried. Like, how do you guys deal with the fact that like some people like are gonna think you fudged your dice roll?
I was here. I saw.
Yeah.
Like for our podcast,
Yeah.
we roll in the open, so like everyone
Mhm.
sees. And I know that it's just the three of us, but we don't. I don't know. It's
Oh,
not
I meant like
fun.
audience.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, I get it, but like it's not fun to fudge those rolls. Like failing every once in a while like gives you the stakes that, make
Yeah.
the rest of them feel good.
Yeah.
Exactly. 100% agree.
I
Right.
don't believe in fudging. I don't use a DM screen for this game at all. So
Oh damn.
Yeah,
Arthur sees
literally,
every
it's
roll I
right
make.
next to my laptop where she
Yeah.
rolls, and every time
Yeah.
she rolls, I just go, huh? And I just stare at the dice tray.
I've heard a few of those.
I've
Yeah.
pictured that when I've heard the noise. So I'm glad that it matched.
Yeah.
Speaking of fudging dice rolls, I have another group that I play with, and the DM he likes these special Fallout dice because he got the Fallout RPG, and I it has special pictures for the 20 and the 1. He didn't know that they were different, so every 1 was a 20 and every 20 was a 20, and he critted and literally one shot one of our favorite NPC, our little follower that was there. He was just a normal boy, 10 HP, and he dealt like 35 damage to him.
No.
Just
What's-
completely annihilated.
On a 1?
On a 1 because he thought it was a 20 because it was a special D20.
What's the language situation before I start like bringing my sailor language back out? I just want to clarify
Oh
that.
yeah,
Oh.
cursing
Yo
your name.
ho, yo ho.
Okay, I just
We-
want to make sure.
Yar har, fiddly dee.
We
There
don't
was
fucking
a
care.
Yeah.
Leah a couple
Language.
years back for Christmas. She got us a dice that said "fuck" in replace of where the 1 was, and then a "yeah" where the 20
Yeah.
was, and I still have that dice. So
That's a good
yeah,
dice.
Yeah.
we know where it is.
Yeah.
All
I don't
right.
think I've ever had to fudge any dice rolls ever, even when I've DM'd. Because these sons of bitches build super strong characters, and I let them.
That's good.
Okay, but let's be fair. Everyone else builds my characters because I do not like. I come up with a concept and I'm like, help
Mhm.
me, I'm poor. I can't do it.
I love building characters though, so it works out.
Ruthie
Yeah,
has to
I'm-
like tell me don't break it or else I will
Yeah.
break it.
I'm guilty of fudging dice as the DM.
I'm about to say,
Obviously.
better not be as a fucking player.
Yeah, no, Hector called me out once when we were playing Curse of Strahd because these guys just came in and they started fucking wailing on Strahd, and I'd been building up the entire fight. So I'm like, I'm going to have him bite one person, and he rolled a 2, and Hector saw, and he was like, "That was a 2," and I gave him such a stink.
Mm.
My
We fought a
ADHD
dragon
impulse-
turtle, and they decimated it within the first couple rounds. And I did it
Dragon
because
turtle?
yeah, when it attacked, we were playing Theros. It attacked the shore, and all of them just decimated it. It did one breath attack on the docks, and then they just destroyed it. It wasn't even close.
Only one?
Yeah,
Theros
that's it.
that's the myth Greek inspired one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we just turned it into another pirate party, but yeah.
You did. Still
Yeah.
bugs me to this day, but I love you guys.
The more you say that, the less I believe you.
Yeah.
Say what you want.
The more I think kind of haunts you at night.
It might.
You only twitch sometimes.
Yeah.
Just wakes up to dragon turtle screams and is
But here's the problem. I've been on both ends of that. Because when we played before, I've also been on the absolutely decimating a dragon turtle end. So, I don't know.
I never fought dragon turtle.
When paladins smite, they smite hard.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
Yeah,
no,
just-
she's the paladin in my game, and I have to like.
Just,
She's like,
just
why don't
buff
you
the
give?
dragon turtle? Just buff it.
Yeah. Well, no, the
Bard
thing is, though,
Paladin
she's
is
always
a
like, why don't you give
monster
me
of a
like something?
class.
She'll be like, why don't I get more action or like more awesomeness? I'm like, oh, just because I have to freaking like all my brain power is devoted to just making sure you don't decimate everything I have planned. Those damn Doras.
I came in like a wrecking ball. What can I say?
You have literally last session. All right, sorry.
Hector.
Yes. D&D Honor Among Thieves. I have a lot of likes. Jesus Christ, I haven't had this much fun filming in a while. Heist film with good heists. Anyone who knows me, I love the Ocean's movies, so this is a big win. Another like is it feels like an actual D&D campaign. I think we can all agree to that. Like
Mhm.
the 5 questions scene is kind of what I think cemented it for me.
So good. I
literally
was
had
mad they
that.
shared that in a trailer because it was such a good scene.
There was more to it though. I was glad because I was worried it was gonna be like, oh, did he just spoil the best joke in the movie? But there was more to the graveyard.
So yeah, hilarious.
I'm surprised how accurate it was. Like, yeah, the spells are really accurate. The lore, the world.
Well, the lore is the world is Faerun. It's Forgotten Realms.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something I didn't notice. I've been reading a lot of like threads on like Reddit about this movie, and someone was saying something really interesting. Like, for example, when they're going into the Underdark, Doric and Simon don't need or farthest in the back away from the lanterns light because they already have dark vision. But the movie just never makes a big deal about this kind of stuff. It's really cool. Displacer Beast ability was kind of cool, like the way they show it. I don't know, just geeking out over like, oh, okay, that's how I'm gonna flavor it from now on. And who here seen JoJo? Was Time Stop a Zawarudo reference to anyone else?
Yeah, no, 100% was a JoJo reference.
Okay, good. It wasn't just me.
Absolutely was 100% a JoJo reference. But here's the problem.
Wait, what JoJo
JoJo
reference?
the time
Time
stop.
stop?
Like I think they even had the sound effect, if I'm remembering correctly, like the like
no,
the
it was like a
slowdown
slowdown of movement, but I don't think they
Mhm.
could.
It was similar, but not 1-to-1 because I don't think that they'd be able to get away with that.
No,
Well, no, they
get
couldn't
sued.
get away with it, but I'm pretty sure like I heard like a time like that ticking slowdown. Like maybe I'm just crazy and maybe I'm just like that's a JoJo reference and I heard it in my head.
No, I also I think you're
It
right.
could have been in the back in the backstory monologue with Edgin.
Yeah,
Maybe.
I think so. The fights were so good, like kinetically, and just like the magic was cool. I'm trying to run all my games more like that, and I think it's been paying off. Thank you, Ruthie. Okay. The Dragonborn and just all the practical effects with all the creatures. Like, they did not have to go that hard.
I loved
But I'm
Jarnathan.
so glad they did.
Mm-hmm. I mean, there's that respect that they had for it too, using the practical effects, as opposed to what they did before, which is just not with the other D&D movie. I mean, it's oh my god, it's so good.
I've never seen it. Is it like
It's something.
It's not good. It's not good.
Jeremy Irons is that movie. Like that is his movie, and there is I don't even give a shit about the rest of the plot. It's Jeremy Irons' movie.
You know, if we wanted a good movie to reshoot, we should have done that one. I'm
Yeah.
just saying.
I mean, when we came up with it, when you and I came up with this, Leah, you were telling me like, "Oh, this will be fun. Let's just do the new one." And
Yeah.
and they came out like 2 months later, and I'm like, "Oh no."
It's so good.
I mean, we could do this as like an anniversary thing.
We could.
Mhm.
Sorry, 2 more likes. I like the characters had actual arcs and like they let their moments breathe instead of just doing like Marvel jokes. And also, Chris Pine's the best Chris. I think this confirms it, right?
Yeah. Wait, was that ever in contention?
Yes, actually.
I
You think I'm joking?
I don't think it ever should have been, but yeah, this cemented it. Pine is the best.
I think Jen has a differing opinion.
I'm
I
gonna
can
let
tell
you
by
have
the
it.
look on her face.
What's your
I
opinion?
just saw she's like
No, I don't. It's funny. It's more the cementing of it because I don't have a favorite Chris. Like
Okay,
it changes. It changes all the time. So
I'm very there's one Chris that definitely is not should have never been in the conversation, but you know.
One might say he's a bit of a prat.
I was gonna make a Hemsworth joke, but okay.
No, it's
yeah,
Pratt that sucks.
I. It makes me so sad because I love that TV show.
Community?
Mhm.
Oh no, not Community.
Parks and Rec. No,
Par-
do not
Parks and-
besmirch Community, Ed.
Yeah, my bad. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Parks and Rec, so good. So it makes me sad that he's so awful.
He didn't even try for the Italian accent. Like, come on.
No, they actually explain it in the movie. We saw it.
They explain it in the movie. I don't care.
Yeah, they do.
Like
The
first
movie's
2
not that
minutes.
bad.
Again,
Yeah, it's like
that
the
is
very-
Jack Black's movie. Period.
Yeah.
I will
Yeah,
hear
yeah.
no other points.
You
on
two
this.
seen it also?
I have.
Well, I saw it.
Nope.
It
I don't think I want to support Nintendo though.
I took Ace to see it, and it was pretty great.
That's fair.
That's fair. Did he like it?
He loved it. I was kind of lukewarm on it. It felt like a kids movie, right? So it was fine. I would give it like a 5 or 6 out of 10, and he would probably give it like an 8 or 9. So
Really? I'm surprised it won't be like a 10 for him.
Or an 11.
well, nothing can compare to the Sonic the Hedgehog movies for him. So
Oh, he's
Your son is based. I love him.
a man of taste and culture, honestly.
he's obsessed.
No, he has a good right to be. I'm
Yeah.
excited for 3.
Same. I also like them. So
Sorry, quick dislikes. CGI could have used some more work. Not that it was bad. I get it was a little lower budget, and there's a CGI scarcity lately with companies, so I'm not gonna hold it against them. Why did Doric have no character arc? Like,
yeah.
supposedly it's in a book, but I hate when they do that. So that's part of. You'll see. So
Not only did she not have a character arc, her only character feature, and I get why they did this, but her only feature was wild shape, which, yeah, that's a big part of what Druid is, but that's not the kit and caboodle, you know, it's not the whole thing. I played a Druid in my day, there's a lot more to it.
I've
Not
played
even wild
druids
shape.
that never wild shape before.
do you also do Shepherd?
No, mine was stars.
Oh,
Stars
Stars
nice.
is fun. I want to play Stars.
It is really fun.
I always go Spores.
Spores is
That's the
good,
one
too.
I've played, and that one's a hoot.
Woman After Moonshine, Simon's Heart. I respect it.
I go as creepy as possible.
Oh,
Just
even better.
Always my arc.
All the time.
Always my arc.
She's actually underselling that. You don't understand.
See, I just go gross and disgusting.
Well, so I'm sort of along that line too. Like, so the character, oh my gosh, it's been so long, I can't even remember her name. But she, like, to heal, she would make mud pies. So so like when she was found, she was literally sitting in the middle of the woods, nobody else around, like talking to herself, making mud pies, and like slapped it on a wound and like healed. And that was one of the least creepy things she's done.
I'm imagining like a darker, like it's a middle of the forest, dark as shit at night,
And a kid's just covered in mud, just having the time of their life.
and like creepy talking and like a little violin music playing.
Mm-hmm. Like big glowy eyeballs. Yeah.
Oh, what was her race?
I think I went Furbolg, but I can't remember.
You did.
Mhm.
It was
Yeah.
Furbolg.
Ooh.
Yeah, mine was a gnome, and she flunked out of wizard school, so she had the spell book, and she filled it instead of with spells, she filled it with mold and fungus.
Nice. Like like the what do they call those? The prints.
Yeah,
Nice.
like the scobies and whatnot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like when you cut the stem off and then like press it in, and
Yeah.
Cool.
Ruthie never let me play as a spore druid because then I just play one like a freaking infected from The Last of Us, and she hates it. She hates
You're
that.
so mean.
All right, sorry. Fixes. References spell slots at least once. Just a stupid joke. I was waiting for it.
Or a hit point joke.
Yeah. Oh, that too.
You good? I could take about 20 more punches.
On occasion, see if you can add subtle dice rolling as like a music cue or a background noise. This was inspired by the new Mario movie soundtrack, which I listened to a lot after the movie. I just need Forge to throw one knife, just to show us that he's a rogue, just a sneak attack. Or maybe he throws like 3, and like the first 2 don't hit, but as soon as he's within 5 foot of an ally, it pins a dude like to the wall.
Yeah.
And Doric's character arc, I gave her 1 because I don't want to have to do more homework before going into a movie. It's not fun. I wanted to give her so if Simon doesn't believe himself but has a lot of power, Doric is kind of the opposite. She believes in herself. She has no idea how to do certain like wild shapes. So like her thing is like she can't wild shape into anything bigger than like a deer, and she wants to get one of those big colossal ones to help protect her the Emerald Enclave. So like maybe when she rescues her friend, she turns into a snake, bites the horse, bucks the rider off by doing that, by freaking out the horse, gets on the horse, gets her friend, and just runs. Like sneaky, but she wants to do more. So like they're at the dragons, cutting way later. At the dragon's lair, she's like, I can't. They're like, can you break through the walls? Like there's water, and then she's like, and she tries turning it like a bear, and like it just kind of comes out weird, like an overly stretched, like thin person. Like she can't quite get it, and she's like, I can't. Then Simon does his thing, and then Simon's like, well, I couldn't be a wizard, but I could be a sorcerer. Sometimes you just have to learn things differently, like afterwards in the beach. So then during the tournament, she fights her way across a bunch of monsters. She sees an owlbear, and you can hear dice rolling in the background. Like a little nature check. And then next thing she knows, it's just like during the final fight, she just bam, owlbear, and it surprises everyone. You don't spoil it in the trailer. And that's my fixes.
I dig it.
Thank you. All right. Next on initiative.
Should be Ed.
It should be Ed, yes.
Hello.
Hello.
This movie is really good. Likes everything. Literally. Well, I really liked. Okay, so the Speak of the Dead was hilarious. Intellect of Ours, hilarious. I did like the practical effects for some humanoid races and such. I really like the Displacer Beast. They don't get enough love. Always a barbarian, though.
Is that your big dislike?
No, it's not. It's fine. I'm not as bugged as I make it seem. I don't even know. Oh, the DMPC. You know what I'm talking about. The DMPC
Yeah.
was so funny. It wasn't supposed to come off that way, but it did. Especially how he just kind of like walks over a rock, just directly away. That's like a very, I don't know. It felt very classic of like a DMPC trying to get that out. They just disappear, I guess. I am kind of sad that we saw the Underdark, but we didn't see any Drow. I'm sad about that.
I think I know why. Have you guys seen the D&D community episode?
Yeah.
Yes.
You know why it got banned, right?
Because of
did someone
blackface?
dress up as a Drow and just like people complained that it looked like blackface?
Well, no one complained. There was a joke in the episode where Shirley, she's like, why are we letting that hate crime in here? I think is what she said.
So we're not going to discuss the hate crime?
Thank you.
That's
We're
what
not
I
going to discuss the hate crime. And then he like gets a nat 1 and instantly dies. That's the whole joke. But the whole...
Yeah, I'm glad we saw the Underdark. I liked all the little name drops, all the fan service for D&D players, and it wasn't like I felt that they handled it very, very, very well. How there was enough fan service for us with just little Easter eggs and such, and things that only we would know, but it still made sense for people who are not familiar with the game at all. I feel that that's how you handle fan service, which a lot of people don't. understand how to. A lot of other movies fail on that regard. Also, your complaint about the rogue, he's a mastermind rogue. That's like his whole thing. He's a non-combatant rogue, basically.
But
Like
Ed,
like he's like an inquisitive rogue, but mastermind,
I
non-combatant.
played a mastermind rogue. I still stabbed a bitch or twice too. Like,
Yeah, I play an inquisitive rogue, and I still stab people, but it's a
oh, I know you stab people.
Yeah, but it's still like a lot of that class is very non-combative stuff. So I was totally fine with him being a rogue. I don't know how I feel about Chris Pine Bard never casting a spell.
What are you
But
thinking, Leah?
it's fine.
He does cast a spell, and he
Bardic
botches
inspiration.
it. No, he botches his illusion spell. Remember, he like
No,
melts in front of the
that
door.
wasn't
That was
him.
Simon.
Wasn't him.
That was
Oh, that
Simon.
wasn't him. Okay,
Yeah, that was Simon.
then you're right.
Yeah.
That was like the funniest scene in the
Yeah,
entire
I feel
movie.
I feel like
Yeah.
that's what it should have been. It should have been him casting the illusion spell,
Yeah.
and then his foot getting stuck and messing up like the playing his lute or whatever. But I don't have very many dislikes like at all, really.
You guys, this is rare.
This is rare, yeah.
He's a bit of a he's not like a nitpicker like me, but he is a fickle bitch. I say it with
Yeah.
love.
Yeah, I know. Like it's just that I can't even think of anything that I really dislike. The only dislikes I have is just stuff that wasn't in the movie at all. That they didn't include this thing kind of stuff. That's all. Like I don't like how we didn't see a drow. How Chris Pine never casted a spell.
Also, another reason they didn't show Drow probably is in the sequel they could do a spin-off series with Dritz Dodurin.
Yeah, but you can still just show a drow.
I don't know how to feel about a Dritz spin-off.
Yeah.
He's
Anyways,
a very famous D&D character.
I know.
oh, the movie was hilarious. Also, so funny, so many good jokes. No real dislikes. Fixes. I literally only wanted one thing. And they didn't do it. So I'm gonna put it in. I just want like 2 or 3 scenes of them cutting away, like when they're arguing, cutting away from the movie or to just the actors sitting around a table with like character sheets and snacks and dice, and like having an argument around the table, basically, instead of arguing in the game. They're like just cut out there, they're playing the game, and you cut back in, and then at the end, I would have it where they cut out and they're like packing up and stuff. And sorry, what?
Who would be the DM in your eyes? Would it
Are you
be
would
it be Zank or would it be Hugh Grant?
It would be none of them. It would be Matt Mercer. That's why I want to be the DM. And I want like the other 2 scenes like in the middle of the movie to not show the DM, just the players. And then at the end, you got the Matt Mercer cameo, and then he'll just say, so same time next week. And then Chris Pine will pipe in and be like, next week doesn't work that well for me. And then the movie ends.
Yeah.
Because that's a meme for us.
More fan
Scheduling is hard.
service.
Is it a meme or reality?
2 things can be true. But yeah, that is literally the only thing I wanted, because I remember way back in the day I saw this YouTube series called The Gamers, where it was basically like that, where they were playing D&D and they'd always cut out to them around the table arguing and stuff. I just wanted that. But it's fine how it is also. Good movie. I'm done.
Dope.
Thank you, Ed. Arthur, you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready to go. So I guess we're starting with likes. Just in general, I thought the movie was very well written. I just with everything going on before the movie started with the OGL situation, and I really wasn't sure whether or not I was going to even go see it. I also had a fear of like being way too campy on the borderline of being unwatchable because I've seen some movies do it, and I was really scared that they were going to try. But so I don't get to go. I don't see movies with my brothers anymore, and I actually got to go see this one with my brother, who does not play D&D. He's not the same like nerd that I am,
Well, that's cool.
and he loved it. So like seeing somebody that has no affiliation with like that community at all, and he's like, "Nah, it was great. I liked it." That's awesome to me that they put the movie together. I actually liked that they didn't zoom out and show them at the table with their character sheets. I thought that was very well done. I think I would have been a little disappointed if they did, because it needed to be that story in that world, and taking it out of that even for a second to me would be a little much, but that's just a personal thing. I love the fight choreography, which is all. It's actually also going to be on my dislikes in a minute, but you'll get to that. But I thought that the fight choreography in general was very well done. It was very well performed. I thought that of all the things that they would have just slashed the time on, I thought it would have been the fight choreography, but nah, not even the Paladin 1v5 was super well done. Even if it turned out to be completely pointless because they were undead anyway. Which that's another gripe. I thought that all the characters in general had even though they didn't have super like explained storylines, especially with like Sophia being I'm sorry, not Sophia, Doric, the druid tiefling. I thought that was everybody felt like they really went to the nines, like with every all their characters, and they really understood where they were going to be and what where they belonged in the world. Um, and I honestly, Michelle Rodriguez was my favorite part of this movie. I thought she was phenomenal.
I adore
Oh, for
her.
sure.
She was amazing. Even I can't think. Sophina, that's the Red Wizard. I thought that she was very well done as a
So good.
villain, being like in the
Mhm.
background, like how it should be in a D&D campaign. Like you only fight them at the end, like the BBEG. That's how it should have been done. I'm glad that she was kept for the end. Now, dislikes of the movie, also the fight choreography, because there are some scenes in the last fight with Sophina. Because it's a fight with a wizard, I don't know if they really knew what they were doing, because there's sometimes you look at the screen and like, okay, and I can see somebody waiting for a cue. I'm like, and waiting and waiting. All right, attack. And it felt very much like the second Star Wars movie of the new saga,
Yeah,
like the
the
Kylo
throne room.
Ren, and yeah, exactly, because it's very well choreographed. Uh, but there's definitely cues that are either being missed or they're not on correct timing that I felt they could have like redone another take and done it better. And the wire work with Michelle Rodriguez on the stair scene, I thought could have just been a little bit more tight, because when she threw the guy up in the air, I'm like, that's a wire. All right.
Oh yeah.
I loved it anyway, but it's clearly a wire.
Can I raise a counterpoint to the timing and waiting for a cue thing?
Yeah.
Could that be on purpose since it's a turn taking 6 seconds?
If it is, that's great. It's just the rest of the film up to that point had not really established that was really being done, because the fight before, especially with the paladin fight, nobody was really taking turns and everybody's really fluid. So if they were doing it on purpose, I felt they would have done it through every fight up to that point.
No, you're right.
Even though when they stuck into the Harper's like horde, that fight was super fluid as well. There wasn't like a turn waiting, because I don't know if it's just because I think they shot that fight first, that they thought they were going to do it and then they changed their minds. I'm not sure. And adding to a like before I forget about it, the reverse gravity scene with the wild magic sorcerer was awesome. And I didn't sense any problems with that one. I couldn't even tell if there was wire work. If there was, it was awesome, as well as the the coinage was Faerun based. Like they were the golden dragons from Waterdeep.
Oh.
When he was stealing all the coins from the patrons behind their backs, all of it was like the D&D coinage, which was great. But back to the dislikes. I'm trying to think what else there was. I really didn't have a lot of gripes with it. I felt the back end, like the last like 30 minutes could have been a little tighter. It felt like it dragged for a minute, and I don't know. The problem is I don't know how I would have fixed it because all those points needed to be hit. And then I actually disliked the red Thay dagger bullshit. I know that it was like a Deus Ex Machina thing, and I know it was needed, but they literally need to make a magic item to counter a magic item they created. It felt very much like a DM panicking, like, oh shit, now what? All right,
That's true. It did feel. Now that you said
It-
that,
yeah,
Is
because
it
and
lore
that's the thing
accurate?
too.
You know?
No, they just made them up
Yeah.
because
Oh.
Yeah.
all of
I've
them.
never heard the Red
And
Wizards
like
say.
there's 4 items they made, which was the Helm of Disjunction, the Hither Tither, like the portal gun staff.
oh yeah, the hither
which
thither.
I loved it.
That was
but
actually
at the same
really
time,
fun.
I'm just like, I love it, but damn it, I don't know
It's
how
like
I would
a
use that.
it's like a rod of dimension door, basically.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. The horn, I think it was called the Horn of Beckoning, or Helm of Disjunction, Horn of Disjunction, whatever the fuck it is.
They're on
I don't even
D&D
know.
Beyond about having a count.
I do. Hold on, let me look.
Yeah, they're all supposedly every magic item is now in the thing. Like, and I think they kept the hither to their staff accurate to the movie.
Okay, so it's the Helm of Disjunction, the Hither Tither staff, the Horn of Beckoning Death, the Red Wizard Blade, and the Tablet of Reawakening.
They kept the
quick,
red
what is
wizard
what is
blade?
Yeah, it's called the Red Wizard Blade.
Oh, that's bad for
what's
players
the
then.
range on the hither tither staff, by the way? Does it have a
500?
range?
You can see within 1,500 feet of yourself.
1,500. Oh wow.
That's
the
insane.
Yeah, it's that. I mean, it's a legendary item. All these are legendary items technically, so that means there's like one in the world. I think somebody said it in an interview. First of all, Neverwinter felt like Neverwinter. I don't know if you guys have played the Neverwinter game on like
No.
PC and PlayStation and Xbox. It was like a community game. It felt like Neverwinter. And I guess it was the first Harry Potter movie. That was the courtyard that they had the fight scene in.
Ah, it is. Oh.
And it was bugging me in the back of my brain. I'm like, I've seen this before. And I had to go like kind of comb through interviews. But yeah, they said it was actually where they filmed that first movie. And then the Tablet of Reawakening being a direct counter to the Red Wizard Blade. I'm just like, God, I don't know if I like this. But even my brother, when the scene happened where Helga got stabbed and she was going to die, he's like, oh no, they're going to use the tablet on her. I'm like, yeah, I know, but it's going to hurt a lot. But also, like, seeing somebody that doesn't know D&D being that invested in the characters, also, like, I have less gripes with it than I probably would have, because, yeah, Dora could have used some more, and Simon had a decent arc, but, like, the fact that they meshed really well together and they had really good charisma as a group, it was fine. But fixes, I think the Paladin, it didn't feel like a DMPC like some people said. It felt like a player character that dipped out halfway through and they didn't know what the fuck to do with it. Because it felt like somebody who was a power gamer and they came in and then he stopped. As soon as they got into the Underdark, he stopped coming to the sessions and the DM just had to play him. He's like, all right, I guess this is what we're doing. Especially the way that he walked over a rock. It felt like, all right, this guy's an asshole, right? He walked out over the rock. Yeah, he's an asshole. Okay. Chris Pine not being a bard. Edgin, I honestly think the problem with that is because it was built for an audience that was not just D&D based. They wanted to build it for a wider audience. And I think if Chris Pine as a bard uses magic, it kind of takes away from Simon's arc a little bit. If I were to add magic for the bard anywhere, ironically, it would have been the scene with the illusion. I would have changed it so it was still Simon's fault that the illusion fell apart, but I would have had it as Edgin casting the spell, as opposed to Simon casting the spell and getting his foot stuck in the one pothole in the entire courtyard and couldn't get it unstuck. I think that Michelle Rodriguez, I almost didn't buy the barbarian, except for the scene in on the staircase where like there was a moment, it's just like zoomed in, it's like, all right, there's the rage, cool, I got one, I'm good. The 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 tieflingness, it didn't feel like a tiefling, and I don't know if that was done on
No.
purpose,
No, it didn't.
but I wanted more tiefling in my tiefling.
Well, like thaumaturgy and stuff like that.
Something.
Well,
Although
I mean, to look
I
like
did
more
hear
than
some
just like
interviews.
a person with horns.
Yeah,
Technically, rules as written, tieflings are they're supposed to be human colored. They're not multicolored rainbow like everyone does it. It's just funner.
Yeah, but
that
that's
way.
a stupid.
I know
Yeah.
it's stupid, but technically rules.
rules is written, yeah, sure, but I guess that there was some scenes that had to change because she did have an actual tail. It was not originally CG'd on there, but they said the tail hung in a way that did not look very flattering on camera, so they had to CG it in later to make sure that there was no issues with it. So they probably were some reshoots for just the tieflingness kind of got taken away a little bit. But I love the transitions. I think the gelatinous cube, my favorite scene from that was the gelatinous cube scene where they dove into it and she turned into a snake to get them to escape it. I thought that was really well done. However, the CG in some areas, I knew that they were going to dip the budget there a little bit because they were going to have to. But some of the CGs felt like they could have done it just a little better or just a little bit more time. But I don't know if
the maze when Hugh Grant's on the maze.
Yeah, especially that one. It felt like that's very clearly he's on like something the size of a milk carton looking down.
Can someone get me down? This is higher than what is expected, and I am upset.
And I don't know if it bugs me personally because I have no gripes with Hugh Grant as an actor or a person, but I know he did not give a shit about playing D&D before the movie, whereas everybody else did, and it shows.
He did play. He said they all played before they filmed, though. Like first day,
He did not.
he didn't. I thought they all
No.
did.
As far as the interviews that I've listened to and the stuff that I've read about this movie, he was the only one that didn't play. And I don't know if, and it felt like it bugged me on a I'm part of the community kind of way, and I felt like he should have tried.
Yeah.
I felt I got the vibe from him that he was doing it to get out of a parking ticket. That's what I felt like.
That's actually really well stated.
I could also see it as he saw the only prior D&D experience was he saw the Jeremy Irons movie and he was like, I can do that. Yeah, I can do that.
Have you guys
Yeah.
seen what's his name? Christopher Lee, right? Count Dooku.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Anyone here play Kingdom Hearts?
Yes.
The only reason he was in those games is because his granddaughter begged him to. So I'm wondering if this is the same thing.
Same with the original Dumbledore.
Maybe, but here's the thing though, right? Those actors, they still felt like they were trying in those roles. Whereas like he just felt like himself.
Yeah.
Or like just a very flamboyantly over charismatic version of himself. And I'm just like, eh. I would have rewritten the scene where they were on the docks because he went immediately for the dagger to the daughter's throat, like with no hesitation.
Yeah.
There
I
was
didn't like
no
that either.
hesitation at all, man. That felt weird, especially after like 2 scenes ago. He's like, yeah, I've actually grown to care for her. And yeah, it was on a fucked up way. Like, I literally feel like a god and this is amazing. But like, I would have even just a little bit of a hesitation. Didn't have to be much, but there was nothing. I would have rewritten that a little bit. And then the gold being distributed via the blimp, I thought it was, maybe I'm just dumb and the physical sciences is not my bag. I felt like the blimp would have just stayed in one area because it was technically tied down. So felt weird to me, especially since when the horn was used to turn all those people into zombies. It was literally most of Thay at that point, like where it was, like they were in that area. That's all right. Okay.
I thought
Okay.
they left
Movie.
the range was my theory.
Yeah, that's what the movie said, that they left the range, but like Faye was pretty big. I also don't think they talk to Ed Greenwood at all about Faye
They
during
did
about
not,
this
I
movie,
think. I think I saw
which
that on something. They did not
really makes me
consult him.
sad
Doesn't make sense.
because they
Wait,
talked
really?
to R.A. Salvatore, I think, during this movie too. Yeah, they didn't talk to Ed Greenwood.
Oh. Do you want to explain to the audience who Greenwood is?
Ed Greenwood is one of the crafters of the Forgotten Realms and Faerun specifically, but his big contribution in storylines that he's written is about the Red Wizards of Thay. If I remember correctly, he's the one that put what is his name? I'm forgetting it. The head of the Red Wizards, who was the secret BBG in the movie.
Zastam.
Zastam.
Yeah, he was the creator of Zastam, and he's the one that originally put him in power. Lore wise, and I'm a lore nerd, so I apologize in advance. Lore wise, the power of being in Thay is why the Red Wizards are so powerful. That's why when you see them out in the wild, they're extremely dangerous, but they're not as dangerous as they would be if you're in Thay. Because basically, if they are killed in Thay, they could be revived. Anywhere else, they're pretty much dead.
Oh. Okay, so you're a lore nerd, and I'm curious. If a Red Wizard dies outside of Thay, then they're brought back to Thay. Do they come back to life?
They can be. There's like a magical epicenter in Thay for those wizards, because there is a seat for every single one of the schools of magic for the Red Wizards of Thay, and then but Zastam took over, and those powerful Red Wizards like school heads exist, but he is the head. He's the necromancer. He's a lich, and he is like the head of all the Thayan wizards, and basically what he says is law. Thay is really fucked up as a place too. There is slaves in Thay, which is also another thing part of the movie. I'm like, if they had slaves, why did they have to like attempt to bring all these people together? They could have just told them to whatever. I'm not going to worry about that. And then the ending, it felt like they could do more with it, like with Zastam being so prominent in the Forgotten Realms. Because Zastam, like his whole shtick is he hires adventurers to go out and find magic items and rare magic items. And then once they bring it back to him, he just kills them. After they've gotten to the point where they start acquiring more magic items and then they can start questioning it, he just kills them, like no question. And because he's a necromancer, he brings them back to serve him as undead.
Efficient.
Yeah, it's extremely efficient. It's horrifying, but it's efficient. But yeah, as far as the fixes of the movie, I think that's all of it. I'm good. I thought the movie really didn't need that many changes. I think the introduction maybe could have been sped through a little bit. Like I would have just started in the courtroom because first of all, I love Icewind Dale, and I love that prison's up in Icewind Dale. That was actually really accurate, which surprisingly. The prison scene where they could have just cut to the courtyard, I think, and then talked about the trial and then gone to the trial with Jonathan just being chucked out a window. I thought that was great. And I also like the callback at the end of that where the Hugh Grant tried the same thing and then just stonewall.
It's one of those moments where as the DM, you let them do something crazy once, and then yeah.
But yeah, honestly, the movie was really, really good. There wasn't a lot of need for changes. A lot of it to me, it just feels nitpicky because I enjoyed the shit out of this movie. Like I almost went to go see it again before we had this conversation tonight.
I just had this talk with Leah yesterday.
Yeah. If I had had more time, I probably would have seen it again today.
Thank you, Arthur. That was really good. And thanks for the lore dump. I love lore too.
I'm a giant like D&D lore nerd. Like there's I found a Faerun map that's like a Wikipedia page. Like if you click on a little town, it'll tell you like when it was established, around what the population breakdown is. It's awesome.
We went to the theater and we got these.
We saw it twice. And the second time
fun.
we got the cloth maps.
They had cloth
cool.
maps? Son of a bitch.
Oh man.
Do you guys want one? We can
We have two, we can mail one.
We can mail you one of them.
That is right up
No.
Arthur's alley.
I mean, that is up my alley, but no.
Arthur,
you guys
you
went
one,
to the
dude.
movie. You went to the movies. You earned them. I will now have to track down where these are because I need to go find them. Don't mind me. I'm just going to do it.
Just
know
come
what?
to the
Google search real
movie
quick.
theater near our house. They still had them.
What is the movie theater near your house? Like, what is it? Like a cinema?
Well,
What
it's
map?
please.
It's give me a second.
No, for they cut it whenever they were talking about where they lived. You're fine. Arthur had a mini panic attack. Like, what do you mean? How long has not been recording?
Listen, we've done that before when we did our test session recording, and it was just static, and I had a mental breakdown when I was listening to it on the back end.
Sorry.
Okay. No, go ahead.
In our John Wick episode, I think I've told this story a ton of times, but it was our second episode, and the way I was recording, I was in my apparently squeaky chair, and the microphone was not great, but it picked up every single squeak to the point where when I was editing, because at this point in time I was the editor, I had dreams where I could hear the squeak after the episode went out.
She removed every single squeak.
Every single squeak. If there may be one left.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
yeah.
God.
I don't know anything about strange noises that any of my friends make while we're recording. Hey, Arthur, do you have any clicky pens around?
All of them. I'm just glad that some of them are easy fixes. And I don't know how when Leah listens to them the first time, I'm imagining her like just sitting listening, like, should I even mark this? This all sucks. Like, just like
there are definitely moments like that.
She'll mark it for me, and I have to. Sometimes I'll like extend it like 5 minutes when I'm looking for them.
I have no idea what episode it was, but there was one day, like after recording day, like a few days later, Leah sent us a message and she was like, "No more gummy worms ever," because we had like a package.
No more gummy worms. No more clicky pens. Stop taking drinks in the middle of these episodes.
It was like
it was her. Remember when you cracked open that can of what was it? Ginger ale?
It was ginger ale. I thought it was far away.
Arthur's good for stuff like that too. Just in the middle of
No, there was one time where it was summer. We have no air conditioning, so I wasn't too mad, but she would be like, and like right on, like right here. I'm like, no, there, please.
Yeah, but mine was pretty subtle. The can, like, despite the microphone being pointed towards my face,
and I was all the way near the side of the kitchen.
A goddamn Coca-Cola commercial. Just. What were you saying, hon?
I don't know. I was just drinking this delicious ginger ale, sponsored by If only.
Oh yeah, for real. If only. All right, back on topic. I'm not going to talk about the things we've already talked about. So I might be a little shorter than everybody else, but that is fine. Things that I absolutely enjoyed about this movie was that even though they didn't have the dice effects, which would have been fun, there were definitely moments in the movie where you could see like, okay, somebody crit failed here or crit succeeded here. You know, like there were those moments. And they also did a great job of like failing forward. You know what I mean? Like taking those moments where somebody does crit fail and then trying to turn them into something better down the line. That was fun. I really struggled a little bit with some of the classes. Like I didn't love the way the rogue was played, obviously. I did not really love the way the bard was played, but the barbarian, listen, Michelle Rodriguez was so good. But also, normally in D&D media, barbarians are portrayed as like big dumb himbos, right? They're there to like swing things and look cinematic in fight scenes and kind of like be all badass in the background, right? But like the whole arc with her and Edgin's daughter and her basically being like the stand-in mom and like the feels there and like really developing her story, best character arc in the movie. She was fantastic. It was
agreed.
A great portrayal of what a barbarian could actually be in a game rather than just being a big meaty person with an axe.
She did feel like a herbo though.
She did feel a little like a herbo.
Her love interest, I mean, that was perfection.
And,
oh yeah,
and then
so good.
The bite lip after receiving the medal.
Yes.
Another halfling. Yeah.
Absolutely.
She's got a type.
Yes.
Like when she approached the house, like he painted. Oh my God. God, I laughed so hard.
Yeah. I liked the big fat dragon. I'm not even gonna try to say that name.
Wasn't it like
Some
Thundershawd or something?
Something like that.
Yeah,
Thundershard.
Yeah.
but every time I read the end of that word, I just see chode.
It's true.
I mean, he kind of was. So.
Thunder Chub.
Yeah, like
Thunderchub. Said Thunderchub, guys.
Yeah, Thumberchub.
All right, we're
That
trying to
was
get to that.
hilarious. I enjoyed every moment of that scene with the chubby dragon. I actually go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna say you can get one of those Funko Pops now.
I know, I saw it. I have not bought a Funko Pop in so long, but when I saw that one, I was like, I kind of want it. I kind of want that one. I know, like, we kind of talked about, the paladin, how it feels like maybe like a DM PC or like a departed PC, whatever. I hated that character for the first like 10 minutes when they entered the movie. But then as I watched the portrayal, I was like, okay, this is a first movie. We're establishing character archetypes. This is the archetypal holier than thou paladin, right? And the moment I embraced that and watched it on screen, I was like, I kind of love him. So by the end of the time, I had decided that I fell in love with him. So wouldn't change anything.
Renee June Page is also a very good looking man. I fell in love with him.
So good looking. So good looking. And
This is the problem I
the
have
like
with some
glow
cinema,
thing.
is like everybody's pretty, right?
Yeah, everybody's pretty. And the glow thing they did on his eyes so that he looked like one of the, the people from Thay. So good. That effect, honestly, was so good throughout the whole movie. And the scene where Safina is in that room by herself and Zastam is like in the shadows, like talking to her. So good. So creepy. Yes, please. More of that. The thing that I thought was really funny, though, was that like she would be walking around in these like black dresses or like white dresses or something, and people are like, oh no, that's totally just a normal wizard. And then she like turns her dress red and everybody's like, oh no, she's a red wizard.
Like Superman's glasses.
Yeah. It's like, well, you guys deserve whatever horrible thing happens to you next.
What if she had it like in a shade that's like you couldn't tell if it was red or maroon? How would people? Yeah.
Maroon Wizard, you're on thin fucking ice.
There better not be 4 more of you.
And honestly, I loved all the Red Wizard stuff. I know that they had to like change the lore, abbreviate some of it, add some things to like fit it in because it's a lot of lore for one movie. But having them as like the big bad of the movie and seeing how badass they are was pretty fun. It was pretty fun to watch.
It made me respect wizards. I'm sorry, I know they're like your favorite class, Arthur, but like, I don't like wizards. They're just like full of. Speaking as a full of himself nerd, they're full of themselves nerds. Like they're not.
But see, that's the thing. I don't play my wizards like that at all. And Leah can probably attest because I mostly play them in the presence of her. Most of mine are just, they're nerd boys, but they're not overconfident about it. They're just like, I mean, I know this, but like,
Yeah. No, that's true. That is true. Okay, my dislikes. I am hardcore in the camp of like, I want my bard to bard. They are still like my very close second to monks as being my favorite class. And taking away magic casting from bards is lame as hell. Even in the first scene, right, when he's in the jail and he's like talking to these people and blah 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 blah, whatever, I'm like, why isn't he like casting charm person? Why aren't we seeing him use any magic? Okay, maybe it's because he doesn't have his, loot or whatever that he needs to do these things. And then as the movie progressed, there were all these moments where I was like, he could be casting spells. We could be seeing really cool bard magic on the screen, and we're not. He just comes off as some dude with a lute, which is kind of lame, in my opinion. So that becomes one of my fixes. I want full-on bard. Just great bard. Like watching something like Legend of Vox Machina which is so good with Scanlan's portrayal of a bard. And then watching this, it just feels so flat and lame. And Chris Pine was fantastic and Edgin was a great character, but I just wanted more.
I feel like Vox Machina and this movie kind of switched their like bard and barbarian in a sense, right?
They
Because
did.
like as much as I like Grog, I feel like Holga's a lot better of a
1,000%.
barbarian. Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. No, Grog is a himbo. That's all he is. He doesn't, I mean, they give him a lot more backstory in the cartoon than he really had in the actual play. Because you get to see, we're not talking about that right now. This is fine. We're moving on.
My bad. I should not have
Mood.
gone further on that.
I can talk about that all day, but we're not going to. Other things that I dislike, honestly, there's so little that I disliked about. The other main thing that I disliked was the attunement stuff with the helmet. It just,
Really?
I didn't like it. And I don't know why I didn't like it. Maybe it just felt kind of drawn out or like not explained enough. But I don't know. I don't know what I wanted from it. I don't know how I would fix it. I think this is a me problem. But those scenes just, I didn't enjoy them. I didn't enjoy them.
Huh.
Yeah.
Is it because you don't normally see failing at attuning, which it felt very much like it was?
Yeah. He was failing at attuning because the item was cursed, maybe, but also maybe it's because he was just doubting himself and so he couldn't attune. Which, yeah, it's not something that you usually see in a D&D game, and it's an interesting idea. I just didn't vibe with it. To be honest though, I didn't like that character. So there's probably that as well. He was fine, but he was by far my least favorite character in the movie.
Now that I'm thinking about it, could it have been because it was an item that was meant for wizards to attune to and not sorcerers?
It could be.
I mean, maybe. I mean, technically on the item card it says sorcerers, but I mean, that could have been the case. Is it was supposed to be for a wizard or like a warlock, but taking shots in the dark. I don't know.
We got
Yeah.
no warlock. Wow. I just
Warlock.
realized.
Warlock right now. I don't
Yeah,
know.
fair enough. With everything going,
Maybe a sequel.
Yeah. I was thinking like the whole satanic panics.
No,
coming back,
I'm thinking the same thing. I just didn't
Okay.
want to say it aloud.
Okay, fair enough.
Don't want to say it aloud. But yeah, I mean, those are my two main things that we haven't already talked about. And the only fix I would make is fixing the bard. It is the most egregious error in the entire movie, in my opinion. Make the bard a bard. Thank you. This has been my TED Talk. Yes, sir.
A handful of spells that you'd give Edgin.
Ooh. Okay, so it depends on what kind of bard he is, right? And that's the other thing, okay? All the other characters, you can kind of look at them and maybe try to guess at like a subclass that they would be. What subclass would you give Edgin? Go ahead.
That is actually one of my fixes. I pegged him as being a College of Whispers bard.
Oh, I got Oh, that makes sense.
No, he's
Okay.
playing as an eloquence bard. He is for sure Whispers.
Quit reading my mind. I was thinking, oh god.
In his backstory, when he's talking and hoping Jonathan's going to show up, he talks about during the day he's a musician, but at night he's working with the Harpers and sabotaging evil plans.
Yeah, I dig that. Okay, cool. I would be down with him being a Whispers bard. But like aside from that moment, like there's no way to gauge what he would be because he just doesn't do anything. He doesn't do anything. He's kind of lame. So
He makes plans.
He makes plans.
And
But so
and then
you
he makes
have
the new one.
you have a bard with no spells who makes plans, who was adventuring with an inquisitive rogue who doesn't fight anything and just makes plans. So we have two people doing the same thing. Instead, we could give the bard an actual subclass and spells and let him be, important. That's it. Oh, and the spells I would give him. I don't know. Like, I want him to be a bard. I want him to have, like, charm person. I want him to do... I mean, I
wanted to see a vicious mockery.
Yeah, like
that
would be so good. A vicious mockery. Give him some of those little like gifted gabs, magic mouth, give him all the weird all the weird little bard spells. Let him
Irresistible
be a
dance.
generic bard, but yeah.
Well, not to
Give him
mention
tongues.
one of the class features for Whispers at, I think it is level 3, you can basically use your bardic inspiration. I think a lot of bard subclasses do this, but you can have your enemy subtract a d6 from their rolls.
Yeah.
So yeah, that could have come
Yeah,
in
cutting
handy.
words.
It's not even a spell.
It's
Yeah.
cutting words, yeah.
Yeah, cutting
Yeah.
words.
So just do cool stuff. Let him be a cool bard. That's all. That's it. Other than that, it's a great movie. Almost a perfect movie. And I had way lower expectations going into it, and I was blown away. So
Fucking same.
yeah. All right, I'm done.
All right. And next on the initiative count is Ruthie.
So for
Thank
my
you, Leah.
Yeah.
my first is in the Discord if you want to take a look. Paladin, hard eyes, hard eyes, hard eyes. Can you tell what my favorite class is?
It's Monk.
Warlock?
So Arthur, you mentioned having seen this with your brother. I saw the movie twice. The second time, Hector and I brought my mom, and my mom is not a fantasy person. She will not watch Lord of the Rings with me. She can barely stand Harry Potter. She likes sci-fi, but I've asked her in the past, would you ever try D&D with me? And she said, snowball's chance in hell. After this movie, she still said no, but she was like, almost. It almost got me there. But it still means something.
It's very engrossing for a non-D&D community audience, which I thought was fantastic.
Yeah.
See, I'm too scared to show my parents because the first time I tried to run the game was with them and my brother, and it lasted like 4 sessions.
Yeah.
It was not bad, but it was like, beginner DM. And now they're going to watch and like, why were your games like that? I can already feel it.
No, your parents wouldn't be like that.
My brother would.
Your brother would. I recognized about 85 to 90% of the spells in the movie, and that made me really excited. Because, I was expecting a little bit of Hollywood, like, magic. But even Simon was like, no, magic can't do everything. Stop just saying magic is a blanket solution.
I like that too.
Yeah. Halfling Bradley Cooper was also a like. Also, I just love halflings. What's not to love?
You say that when Kenku exists. No, I'm joking.
I mean, I'm also wearing a Kenku shirt, but
Yeah.
I do like having a little bit of Nat 1 insurance with a halfling.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
I roll bad. I liked Holga and Edgin's familial relationship. It was not romantic at all, and it didn't grow to be that. If anything, if it grew at all, it was for sure cemented as a co-parenting relationship.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, it just had, like, honest to goodness good storytelling. The last movie we did for the podcast was Sharks of the Corn, and
Wait, Sharks of the Corn?
Sharks of the Corn. Imagine, if you will, Children of the Corn, and Jaws had a baby, and that baby was sharks swimming in a cornfield eating people.
Here's the handle. Here's
Is
the
this
writing.
set in Ohio?
Kentucky.
Kentucky.
Okay.
We discuss it in the episode. If I was to describe it, it may out movie Morbius.
No.
It's
in the running.
It makes Tommy Wiseau look. The writing makes Tommy Wiseau look like Stephen King. Okay.
Yeah, he looked.
No, I don't know about that. Because, like, at least the dialogue kind of made sense in Sharks of the Corn.
Yeah, but it's boring dialogue. At least Tommy's is fun.
I know,
No,
but
it was
this
just
released,
exposition
like, last
dump.
year?
Yes.
Yeah. No, so the entire process of creating the movie, and this is the last blurb before I actually get back to my points and such, it was from the conception of the script to final editing went from July to February.
Of 2020 to 2021. So it was also like a bit of a potential pandemic risk.
They did
too.
this during COVID too. I bet it's amazing.
Are you sure it wasn't in Ohio?
They say Kentucky like 3 times. Would not surprise me if it was filmed in Ohio, though.
Yeah.
I don't think there's ever gonna be a movie that will out movie The Room, though.
I don't know. I still haven't seen The Room. I need to, but like,
He has that shark movie
You
coming
haven't
out this
seen
year.
no, I
He
haven't
does
seen
have
it.
that shark movie coming out. He also had this other movie with Greg, Best Friends.
It was a
Best
TV
Friends.
show. It was like
It
a
was a TV
one-season
show?
TV show. It was a
Oh,
one-season TV show. I have not seen it, but I've heard it is okay.
Yeah,
Oh,
Sorry.
it's okay?
Sorry. Yeah. Ed, later. Let's let
Let-
Ruthie.
Shh.
Yeah, like I said, honest to goodness storytelling. Like, we watch a lot of bad movies. It was really relieving to not watch a bad movie. At the same time, like, oh man, this is a good movie. How am I gonna fix this?
Yeah.
Like I said earlier, I'm not sure if this was caught in recording or when we were just chatting. I did my best to not change the plot. It feels like a campaign and it works that way. So I'm just trying to smudge some stuff around the edges. And yeah, it felt like a D&D campaign. And the more little details Hector and I keep finding, the more I love it. And it's the inverse of Super Mario Bros. The more Hector tells me about the little details, I'm like,
Of what, Mario?
yeah.
Yeah.
Dislikes. It frustrates me that Edgin and Forge don't use more features from their classes. It's a bard and a rogue. Those are like D&D staples. Like Edgin doesn't. I know he doesn't need to, but he didn't flirt with anybody. Come on, you know.
Never mind.
What?
I mean, I played an asexual bard.
Yeah, no, it's a thing. But
I mean, he's
like,
also a psychopath, but
I think it's too cliche, in my opinion.
I know it's
If you-
cliche, but he had nothing to really like other than the loot.
he did mention people like his lips. And when he was like, what's wrong with my
But that's
lips?
True.
Okay. Point retracted. Hector was saying that the creators said that Zank smited. It was just that his sword was glowy, and that was the smite on his weapon. That doesn't speak to me as being a smite. Hector and I have a very niche interpretation of like what a smite should look and feel like. Kind of this powerful, often slightly delayed for dramatic effect blast. Like, I get that's a more a me thing, but at the same time, like, it didn't feel smitey. It felt like magic weapon.
Arthur, what?
It could be like the 11th level feature of the Paladin, which is like every attack just smites, always. So
Wait,
that
that's
could have, yeah, it's a thing. When you get to 11th level as a Paladin, like you're guaranteed one smite. It's called improved smite, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Arthur,
I played
don't. She's gonna push me to level her up faster, please.
Listen, I've played a very high level barbarian paladin who fucked everything up. They're dangerous at high levels.
Wait, how? Question. Okay, I know more tangent. Sorry, I have to ask for
It's
clarity's
always
sake.
What was the split?
Well,
Barbarian 4, paladin 16.
Damn.
can you you can't smite while you rage though, right?
It's not a
It
spell.
does not say that.
Yeah, you can, because regular smites are not spells.
Fuck, I keep thinking they're spells. Okay.
No, they're not a spell. No, because remember in my campaign, Ed's fighter paladin, he could do a spell and another thing, and smite. He could smite and maneuver at the same time.
Right.
Because
Yeah.
smite it doesn't have a casting action.
Right.
But the paladin he could have been a higher level paladin innately and just had smite on every hit, so he didn't need to smite. But I feel what you're saying. Like there was no powerful like.
Yeah.
Wait, objection. Would if it was a smite every hit, that would have killed the undead though, because it's radiant damage.
Honestly, to me, the campaign felt like it was somewhere between like 3 and 5, because like they had a lot of their class features, but for one thing, they weren't like super known through the kingdom, and two, they weren't like super powerful compared to like city guards.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, might have just been me though.
Sorry to interrupt again, guys.
No, you're fine. Also, apparently, he's supposed to be an ancient's paladin. Wrong. He speaks to me as being devotion.
He's supposed to be an ancient's paladin.
Yeah, I know, right?
Because he mentions in the movie, the ancients say, and then he gets cut off from.
But his behavior looks more like a like a devotion paladin. Ancient's paladin would for sure get sarcasm and jokes. That they're light,
Okay,
happy.
so can you explain for the audience who aren't listening to, who are somehow listening to this but don't like D&D, what
To be a paladin, you have to promise to do certain behaviors, and devotion paladin is what you would think of as a standard knight. So no lying, no cheating, no stealing, being honest and good and virtuous. Ancients, it's a little bit more nebulous, but the idea is that you are keeping the light alive, and the light is kind of like happiness and joy and like good fluffy feelings. So to me, Zank feels more like a devotion paladin because he's a lot more stiff. He's charismatic, yeah, but like he's not doing a lot to like preserve light, you know? And I know I'm nitpicking here. I'm just saying. You know what? I'm just gonna say it. I know this is nitpicky, but a lot of the fights didn't quite behave like D&D fights, and the only reason this is a dislike is I'm worried this is going to have a similar effect to new players coming in, to the Matt Mercer effect, where people watch Critical Role and start assuming their DM is going to be exactly like Matt Mercer. And in this scenario, it would be, I'm going to take on a whole bunch of city guards. What do you mean they all have actions and they're all going to whoop my ass? Why can't I attack all of them at the same time like Holga? And now for the fixes. Let's start with Edgin. Edgin is a bard. I know he uses no magic. I'm pretty sure it's like what we were, like someone said earlier, he would be in competition with Simon. I get that. What if he just had magic but he didn't want to use it, and then later like he overcomes the character arc and he can pull out a little magic bullshit near the end? I mentioned earlier I have him as a College of Whispers bard disguised as eloquence. It's in my notes.
Okay.
But someone may be thinking in their minds, why is he not doing magic? What if there was no MacGuffin Blade of the Red Wizards?
Okay.
What if it wasn't just his greed, desire for a better quality of life that killed Zia, his wife?
Okay.
What if magic killed his wife?
Oh.
And he feels really weird now whenever he casts magic, because all he can think about it is his dead wife.
Okay. That's a really good character motivation.
Yeah, he can like say it's a red wizard blade in like the earlier monologue, but then like during the failure monologue, he's like, I made up the red blade thing. No, she died by what it was, scorching ray.
Yeah, you can't resurrect ashes.
Or yeah, like a disintegrate would be a little too much, but it would definitely get the point across from the red wizards.
Wait, can you just actually? Arthur, you looked like can you resurrect ashes?
True Resurrection's a 9th level spell. It can do a lot.
Yeah, but you need to find somebody who can cast True Resurrection.
I mean, that's the thing. That's literally what on the item card for the Tablet of Reawakening, it is to cast True Resurrection.
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm sorry, I'm a nerd. Okay, God.
No, I didn't know that was no.
I figured that was the case.
Yeah, no. No, you guys are a D&D podcast. If you guys weren't like at least a little nerdy, I'd be surprised.
I think there would also be a better interplay with him and Doric, because she might pick up that he gets a lot of magical theory, but he won't do magic. And it's just weird that he knows so much without being a magic guy himself.
Okay.
You can also have funny moments with magic theory with Simon, because they're both technically charisma casters, but the way that they do it is very different.
Yeah.
Because sorcerer is like the innate magic. Bard, you went to Bard school, Bard college. And Edgin's like trying to explain it to him. And then you can even have like Zank kind of chime in, just like, I do it by sheer force of will. And both of them are just like, bruh.
Shut up.
Mr. Perfect. God damn it. Okay. Forge, as we've been saying, Forge is a mastermind rogue. Between him and Edgin, they could and would convince anyone to do just about anything. Honestly, I just give him like a couple little roguish opportunities, like Holga's trying to avoid the hug that she knows is coming, but he uses but he finds a way to get advantage, so he sneak attacks a hug. Let's say Edgin and Holga took a wanted like they peeled off a wanted poster in Neverwinter. So when he hugs them, he pickpocketed the wanted poster, and that's when he pulls it out. Safina lets some harmful magic loose when Forge is annoying her, and he just dodges it. One might even say, uncannily. Thank you. Kira, a unique blend of her father and Uncle Forge. Kira is growing into becoming an arcane trickster rogue.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense.
See, her father's a bard. He knows a lot about magic. She can ask him a lot of the practical information, but she also knows he did keep a lot of his bard college textbooks, because those are expensive, okay? He's not gonna just throw them away or give them to somebody. Come on. But he did probably hide them, because he doesn't want his daughter to get into magic bullshit. But you know who might just be able to find it? A rogue with no supervision, deadlines, or anything better to do. And then when she starts picking up on magic, Forge can realize all the wonderful possibilities this will have for his, their line of work. For Doric, she's great, but at the same time, she's one trick pony with a wild shape. I'm not going to take away the owlbear wild shape. I love that too much. I would just add in a couple more spells, and to make it a little more diverse, Edgin, support spells. Doric, like healing support spells. Simon gets the more offensive stuff. Like, very much different spheres, you know what I mean?
So all their magic feels different.
Yes.
Okay.
And you can, like, Doric is obviously, it's going to be a lot more nature themed. Edgin, it's going to be a lot more musical themed. Simon's just all over the place. Sorcerer. So, like, spell examples. In the initial scene where Doric is introduced, let's say her druid friend got wounded, so when the party actually meets up with her, when she's in the city, the city in the forest whose name escapes me right now, she's healing her friend with cure wounds. When she sees the party, she grabs nearby stick, casts Shillelagh. Like, you just see like the stick enchant for a second, and you can go, Shillelagh.
Can the cure wounds be mud? I got you, Jen.
It's got to be mud.
Thanks. Yeah.
When they're traveling, just when in one of those like quick little blurbs, she offers to feed somebody, probably Simon because he's broke, a good berry, so they only need to eat that for the entire day. And then he just like, oh great, you know magic too. Oh, and she can use enhance ability on Holga at some point as well. Zenk's amazing, love him. He feels, to me, he speaks to a lot like a DMPC. He doesn't have a lot of character growth. He's only there for lore dumps and MacGuffins, and he doesn't focus on a lot of what Paladin has to offer in a class. Also, just a little side note, another thing we found out semi-recently, the deep lore of the movie, the mark on his head isn't like a thing from his oath or like a god that chose him. That was kind of my assumption. That was him, like,
getting infected by the mist.
Yeah, he did kind of like start becoming undead.
Yeah.
But not enough to be mind controlled. For me, it felt like that was the reason that he didn't smite. Because, like, radiant damage, undead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Can vampires use smites, do radiant damage without taking damage themselves, or
As long as I don't get hit.
Because the Dampiers are not actually classified as undead anymore, I don't think, are they?
Let me double check real quick. But I don't believe
I was going to say, I thought whenever they did the rework of it, they didn't make them undead anymore because of those exact issues. Like, if you have a cleric in the party that turns undead and you're just standing there.
Cleric's just bullying the Dampier.
Yeah.
But there's races now that you can choose to be humanoid or fae, right? Or they're just straight up fae.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, they're humanoid.
Huh.
that's what I thought.
Weird.
Oh dang! I'd like a glass cannon.
I don't know. in my mind, I want him to stick around a little bit more to feel a little less like a DMPC. And you might be thinking, well, what would he do if he was sticking around? Or why would he stick with them? One, there's a red wizard. It's really close to Neverwinter. He's seen up close and personal what they're capable of. He's not going to let. Why would he let a red wizard do the same thing that happened to him as a kid? It makes no sense. And two, Edgin's daughter is way too close to said red wizard for comfort for Zank. He knows exactly what happened. That's how he died the first time. No. He can be more in the background, and to keep the walking over a rock thing, because I thought that was really funny. He's like, I'll go stand watch, and that's him like walking over the rock to. Right after the team reunites after the failure monologue, someone asks, hey Zank, what was your failure? And he can reply that he still doesn't understand idioms despite having them explained to him over and over for the last 200 or whatever years. During the heist, he's caught when the guards see him trying to climb through the painting to behind Doric, and he tells her to run, so he's like the first one who gets caught. And as they're escaping on the boat after they have Forge's treasure, Zank is at the back of the boat staring at Edgin, disappointed dad face, arms crossed. That's when the red mist appears. Edgin turns around, and when Edgin turns around the boat and says, like, oh, I got a promise to keep, Zank just flashes a quick little smile.
All right.
And yeah, that's all I got.
It's pretty good.
Dope.
All right. Last but not least, Jen.
I'm up. All right. So for likes, we've covered this fairly extensively already, and I'm in agreement. Pretty much everything that has already been said. So I'm just going to say a couple of little extras. So just overall, the chaos and the shenanigans in this movie were just highly entertaining. So I went to see this movie with my dad, and growing up, movies were basically a love language in my family. We've grown up watching movies just constantly. So he also plays D&D, and he actually plays in a campaign, another one that Leah runs, and we have a lot of fun. So it was really cool to go to this movie, and when we left, the first thing he said to me was, I can see us doing that. And it was just like a really cool moment to have, to share with my dad, and just, recognize we absolutely would be pulling some of these shenanigans. I thought that they showcased risk reward very well, specifically like with the gelatinous cube. I mean, that was risky, that move, and it paid off so well. And there are so many satisfying moments playing that are very similar, and I really liked how they portrayed that. I love that they went with the rule of cool for the owlbear. I know that was a point of contention for a lot of people, but I'm always going to go for that. I like to say that I'm like the pirates from the Pirates of the Caribbean, where it's more like a set of guidelines. That's how I live my life. So yeah, that was really cool. Something that took me by surprise was the map of the Forgotten Realms. I don't know why it took me by surprise. It was almost like reliving adventures that I had. Just seeing the different places we visited, different realms we've played in. Like if you've played any of those modules that are set in the Forgotten Realms, you're intimately familiar with those places. It was really cool. Like I said, I don't really know why it took me by surprise, but I really enjoyed the fact that they did that zoom out and you could see where everything was. That was really cool. I really liked the costumes that they had. I thought that they were all really appropriate, really well done. Nothing took me out of the feel of watching the movie, like being engrossed in that. Another moment that I really loved was Holga's axe when it was changed. and like became hers. That was really cool. I actually really loved that a lot of lore was only hinted at and not delved into. I thought that it leaves a lot of room for growth in the future, because you know that they're going to make more for sure. Um, as far as dislikes, yeah, I really didn't have many. It was cheesy. I mean, it was for sure cheesy, but it was the best kind of cheesy. And the nostalgia and like happy memories that I had watching it made up for the cheese fest for sure. And the only other dislike that I really had was everything that we've already mentioned with the bard and the rogue, not being bardy or roguey enough. As far as fixes, I don't really have any. I have two things that I would have liked to have seen. So one, it would have been really interesting to see how they handle like a level up, because when you level up when you're playing, it takes you completely out of character. And I would be curious to see how they would handle that so that you aren't leaving that, all that meta talk that you start having when you level. I don't really know how that would occur. I think it would be kind of interesting to see, like, maybe they wake up in the morning after a long rest and go to do a spell that they've done a million times before, and it just comes out differently, and they're like, whoa, and then they try to do it again and again, and then that's how they've learned a new ability or a new spell or something like that. I think it would be easy to explain with schools of magic where you have to learn, but any innate magic wielders, it would be really interesting to see how that would just come out. I also thought it would be really funny to see if one of them died and came back as another character, like completely new character. That would be hilarious.
It's the brother of the character.
Avenging, yeah.
You
Long
know
lost twin.
that happens in that little YouTube series I talked about. One of the characters die and they just roll up a new one, and he just shows up.
Simon's twin brother, Blyman.
Blimey.
Amazing.
Also a sorcerer.
Yes.
Yeah, I would have liked to have seen that. And then the only other suggestion that I had while I was sitting there, because we got there early and it was just the same 3 commercials over and over and over again. I thought it would have been really cool of Hasbro to mend some fences by highlighting some content creators during that time. I feel like they could have, made impacts on the lives of the people that, were potentially negatively impacted by choices.
Preach.
That's a
that were
good
made.
idea.
Instead, they had the
Clever.
hostage video.
Oh, the heroes. I was just about to ask, did you guys see the wow, you moviegoers are heroes
Yes.
commercial? Yeah.
Yeah.
It was really annoying.
It was
Like
super
Tom Cruise
annoying.
got it, man. We can't. No one else is gonna do it. Do that kind of video.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I liked your fixes.
Yeah, they're really good.
Mhm.
Especially
Thanks.
hostage video. Are there?
Yeah, the hostage video, because if you've watched it, it's not anything except a hostage video.
Yeah.
And there's no way that they're just like, yes, I'm glad to be here. What the fuck are we doing?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they
I
all
paid
yeah,
for
it
this.
was
Add another 0.
There's a reason Hugh Grant only said, "Now let's watch Dungeons and Dragons," because
yeah. Yeah, it was rough. Maybe just don't include that
Yeah.
because it was bad.
So Sophia, what's her name?
Safina, the
Lilith?
wizard.
No, she
The one
plays
that plays
Oh.
Doric, right?
Dora.
Sophia Lillis.
Yeah.
Lilith. Thank you. So she played Dungeons and Dragons in high school, and she recently did an interview where she reluctantly revealed the name of her character, and I cannot remember what it is, but it was absolutely like. So the character had a catchphrase, and the catchphrase was, "It's not sexual." So I wish I could remember the name, because everyone should go look up this interview, because it was so funny. She's
was
so
like
uncomfortable. She
human
did not want to
vibrator.
divulge this information. Yeah, something around that.
Wait, what was it?
It was like
It
human
was-
vibrator, like, but the words were separated.
Oh, I heard about that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was really funny. So everyone should go look at that.
Wasn't she like a monk or something? That's the reason she was able to move because she moves so fast or something.
I think so.
There we go. We got a monk in the movie.
We got.
Got a monk in the movie.
All right. So here we do letter grades. So you can do plus or minuses if you need to at the end too.
Let's go initiative order.
Initiative order.
Yeah.
Or should we re-roll? And not too much time.
No.
Or do we want to do it backwards?
We can do backwards. Yeah.
Okay.
I like it. Reverse initiative.
Yes.
Jen, you're up.
I'm gonna give this like a B++. I added a plus.
All right.
It was surprisingly very good.
A- or even an A, I might even say.
Wow.
I liked it.
Leah.
I'm going A-. It could have easily been an A with a better bard. That's all I'm saying. A-.
Arthur.
A B+, A-. Like it's sitting pretty solid in that range. I don't think it was anything worthy of like an A or an A+ yet, but I mean, there's a lot of potential there, and I think going in with absolutely no expectations very much helped it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
It's my turn, bro.
Yes, I was trying to read it out loud and be for the audience, but sure, go.
I'm gonna, agree with Arthur. Like B+, A-, just like right in between those two. Like it's good enough that I don't want to give it a B, but I don't think it's amazing enough to deserve an A. Is the thing. So B+. I'll just say B+ ish.
A-. You guys already said everything.
Yeah.
If it was a monk, it'd be like an S rank, though. Let's be real.
Listen, I'm impressed. We were all on the same page for like most of this. Listen,
Yeah.
greatness recognizes greatness. It's
Yeah.
just a good movie.
Real recognizes real.
I was really surprised though at how much that I enjoyed this film, because whenever I went in, my dad, he was like, "Hey, we should go see this like on opening day." And I was like, "Ugh, all right." And then we got there and I was watching, I was like, "Oh my God, I'm super entertained." It was really good.
Yeah.
I have a question for you guys then. If they do a sequel, do you think they'll go off of these characters, or will they just introduce new characters out the gate?
These characters 100%.
Yeah.
I wish it'd be
It would be
Chris Pine.
I wish it'd be new characters, and then like maybe have the old ones return as a cameo, but like it's gonna be the same ones.
Yeah, it's probably going to be the same ones. Or if they're introducing a new cast, my idea would be start with Kira being grown up, and it's her party.
That could be interesting.
I like that idea.
That's a good one. What about you guys?
I can see it either way.
I kind of would like to have the same cast play new characters, just because that's.
Oh,
That would
Chris
be
Pine plays the barbarian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be fun.
That would be really funny.
I'll be sad if they don't do that now, actually.
Yeah.
They're not
That'd be
gonna do
amazing.
it.
They're not. If we don't get
And-
Chris Pine as a gnome, I'm gonna be angry.
Or
Getting
if they
Bradley
included,
Cooper as a halfling was like
I was just-
jarring.
It
about to
was.
say, having Bradley Cooper like join in for 2, I'd be fine with that.
Oh yeah, and I wanted to say this. The beginning scene with Chris Pine like talking about Jonathan being there. Oh my God.
It felt like an argument between a player and a DM.
Yeah. It was
Uh-huh.
so funny. We've already told you he got caught up in a storm.
I also really love the fact that the name was Jonathan. That feels like a DM going, "I don't know, Bob. His name's Bob."
Yes.
Yeah.
1000% is how it felt. Keith. His name's Keith.
Jonathan, that's not fancy enough. Jarnathan, okay.
Jonathan, yeah.
His name is Joe. His name is Joe.
We like to end on the any media you've been liking or consuming, movies, games, anime, manga, music.
John Wick 4.
Oh yeah, you finally saw that.
Yep,
Yeah, it's good.
it's good.
I'll
Please
I'll
stop.
leave my.
That's what
Okay.
that's what I want to tell the director and the studio. Just stop. Just you're done. Please.
No more, Ed. Nope, you're about to spoil again. Don't.
I wasn't gonna say anything. I was just telling them stop. That's all.
Fair
That's all I
enough.
was gonna say. Stop. Please stop.
If he keeps going, he spoils. I've been having the ending of Attack on Titan ready as a nuke if he ever pisses me off enough or like spoils one more thing.
I wasn't planning on spoiling anything.
Jen, anything you've been enjoying?
I've been getting back into reading and literally any and everything by Sarah J. Maas. It's a well, it was recently reclassified as adult fantasy, but it was young adult fantasy, fae, just all of the above. They're really good, really excellent world building. Turns out she's been building a metaverse from day one. It's incredible. Shocking worlds have collided, sort of, kind of. Spoiler alerts, but not really. If you read them, you'll see what I mean. But they're really good.
Do I read them in release order?
There's different theories around that. I'm sort of like a purist when it comes to that. Like if she wrote it in a particular order, I'm going to read it in a particular order. But I would just make sure you're reading all of one series, then all of the next series. And if you're going to do it, end with Crescent City. Those are the last books you should read. But all of them are really good, but there's a lot. I made Leah read one of the series, and I'm dying for her to start on the next one.
I'm going to. I've also been getting into reading more lately, so.
I'm trying
Same.
to. Speaking of reading, what I want to read is Lilith's Brood, Xenogenesis.
Yes.
Series.
Octavia Butler?
Yeah.
Yes, do it. So good.
I kind of half read the first book, and I really liked it, but I'm going to reread it soon, hopefully.
Yeah. So since we're talking about books, the only movie I've seen recently is Super Mario Brothers, and I don't really want to recommend it. I didn't like it as much. If you like fantasy...
sorry. Sorry, keep going.
If you like fantasy, YA, it's an adult. I'm looking at it on Google. It says adult, but I don't know why it would be.
Probably there's going to be some more stuff in the other books.
I know exactly why my series got reclassified. That last one was like, whoo, spicy.
Okay, yeah, it's probably going to be a later book then. But the book is called A Darker Shade of Magic.
Oh, yeah.
It's got a lot of really...
books.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. I've read the first one. I have the second one. I've started the first chapter, but haven't had a chance to really dig in.
That's the series name?
Yes, that's the series name.
It is. Okay.
Schwab, right?
V.E. Schwab.
Oh, yes. Okay.
Distant cousin of Les.
Oh,
Thank you.
God. Is that a thing where you guys are? Or is it like a regional thing? Les Schwab?
It's all over the country.
Is it? I wouldn't know.
What?
Les Schwab?
I thought Les Schwab was all over the country.
It's like a tire place.
Okay, apparently not. Les Schwab is it's where you go to like get your tires done on the West Coast.
We have like Pep Boys and
we have Pep Boys too
out here.
Okay.
Good to know.
I mean, I guess you guys can beep out the names of all. Oh yeah, and there's beep and beep and beep and beep and beep and beep and well, I personally like beep.
But what about honk? No.
I have recently convinced a close friend of mine to read The Dark Tower, and the only way I could do so was to agree to also read it. So I'm doing a reread of The Dark Tower, which is my second favorite series of all time. Fantastic. And the other thing that I recently read that I was obsessed with was The Promised Neverland manga. So good.
Did you like the ending?
I did.
Okay.
I did. I thought it was fine. Like, the whole series was so good. I loved it.
What are you thinking, Arthur? I know you've read it.
Oh, I'm a giant anime nerd.
Same.
So I was so happy when she told me she was reading The Promised Neverland, and I'm like, really?
It's so
Interesting.
good. It's so good.
All right, how about you, Arthur? What have you been getting into?
Oh, I mean, again, I'm a giant anime nerd. I watch a lot of the stuff seasonally as it comes out, dubbed. Just because I have this thing where if I'm reading subs, like I have astigmatism with my eyes, so if I'm reading a line, it'll go like that, which doesn't
Okay.
really help me as a voice actor when I'm reading script. It also helps me. I've been watching. First of all, Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is one of my favorite series. Period, and I will go on and on about that series
He will.
forever to the point where I will annoy Leah.
Somebody mute him
yeah.
right now.
Wait, no. I'm probably gonna start the fire here, but I have to ask. I watched the CGI 2012 one. How does this one compare to the 2012 one? Because I really like the 2012 one.
It's not even close to how good it is. Like, not even close.
Really?
Because first of all, like Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, all the turtles are different turtles. Like, they're different types of turtles. They're not all the same one.
No, I've seen like two. I've seen.
Funny.
I saw
We
the
need
first two
deep
episodes.
lore of the turtles.
Okay, so I used to work at a home for people who were like, it was a halfway house for people who had mental illness. One dude just loved the turtles, so like when that show was coming out, he'd watch it and I'd watch them with him. It looked good, but I didn't realize it was when it first started, so it gets like a lot better.
Oh my god, yes. But I mean, like Raph is like a snapping turtle. Donnie is a soft shell turtle, or a soft. I forget what the term is. Like the characterization of them, as well as the voice actors that play them, is amazing. Channing Tatum is in it, which is weird. Like, to just have that on the book. The Shredder felt scary when he finally showed up. The arc for the characters is what I really loved about it.
You excited for the new movie?
Yes, hesitantly,
Okay, that's
because they
fair.
changed it. But
That's fair.
I mean, it looks like it could be really good. So I'm not gonna crap on it before I see it.
Favorite turtle?
Ooh, from the series, from Rise, it's Donnie, and from all the other series, probably Mikey.
My
From
man.
all the other series.
My man. Yes. Okay.
But, I mean, you almost have to watch the entire series of Rise to understand why there's such a difference.
I'll watch it. I'll watch it. I'll find a way to watch it.
Finally, a fellow dub listener.
Yeah. Well, I actually train with a lot of the dub actors to learn ADR, so I'm intimately familiar with them, and it really helps. I'm also on a Yashahime kick. If you guys have Crunchyroll,
I need to
Yashahime
get Crunchyroll.
is Yu Yu Hakusho. No, not Hakusho. What was the other
Inuyasha?
one? Inuyasha. Yes, it's like the sequel series to Inuyasha. It's really, really good. We're currently watching Ted Lasso weekly, as like me and my family, we watch that collectively. As well as we just finished up The Last of Us, which I enjoyed like immensely. And as far as movies, I don't think, aside from Super Mario Brothers and the D&D movie, haven't watched any movies. I am reading the Pluto manga in preparation for the series coming out.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Which I'm actually really excited for. Like it's a Mega Man series without like Mega Man being the focus, or Astro Boy. Sorry.
Yes, yeah. That one I've heard is going to be really wild.
So I've read a lot of it before. I never finished. I got like halfway through and I just restarted it. So it's like a lot darker, like story wise. It's not like this fun kid show. It's about a detective going after, like, everybody's targeting the robot people, like, and taking them out, like the 7 strongest in order. So it's actually really, really interesting. But yeah, I'm a giant nerd. So anything that you throw at me anime wise, I'll probably know. I continue to annoy Leah to death about the Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, because we got into an argument that because it is better than the original live Teenage
This has
Mutant
been
Ninja
really
Turtles
fun,
movie.
guys, but I need to leave now.
Here, I'll take over quickly then. Let's see.
How can our dear lovely audience find your podcast, Slay the
I didn't
Stars?
say my thing.
What?
I
I
didn't
thought
say-
that's what you were gonna do.
No, I didn't say my thing. I was
Okay.
going to reverse. Either if you can stomach it and you have the will for it and you're not too traumatized, read Berserk. And I've been trying to finish The Bear, and it's amazing, but man, that show stresses me out. So I only watch like one episode every few days, but it's good. All right, Ed, read Red Rising for the love of God. Okay, that's it.
Will do.
Oh, and where you can find our stuff, yes.
So convenient, right next to where you answer.
You can find us at www.slaythestars.com. There's links to literally everything there. All of our episodes go up there, all of our news. But you can also find us on social media at Slay the Stars on Twitter and on Facebook at Slay the Stars and at Slay the Stars _podcast on Instagram because we weren't fast enough to get that handle. Done.
You guys better swoop up on LinkedIn.
Oh, yeah.
Shit. LINK.
This has been a lot of fun. Thank you guys.
No, thank you for having us. This
Thank
was
you,
a lot of
yeah.
fun, guys.
This was fun.
Yes,
It was a
thank
lot
you.
of fun. We should play D&D sometime. That'd be fun.
Or if you guys need a break from D&D for whatever reason, I also love running Powered by the Apocalypse games. I don't know if you guys have ever played them. They're super easy to learn. In fact,
Is Dungeon World based on Powered by the Apocalypse? Is
it
that
could be. I don't have
I
that
think
one.
it
I have
is.
Monster of the Week. I have Masks and Urban Shadows. And Masks is basically you're playing your own Teen Titans.
Oh, that's cool.
I want to run a cyberpunk campaign.
Listen, we'll talk. That'd be fun.
We'll talk. All right. Well, thank you guys, and thank you for listening, everyone.
Lovely audience.
Please follow these guys. They're really good. I'm like caught up, except for the newest episode because I'm saving that one for a work day on Friday. But give them a listen. They're great. They're a lot of fun. If you like intrigue, do you want to describe your show a bit? Actually,
Sure. We are a dark fantasy, sort of fairy tale-esque story. We have a small group, 2 players, 1 DM, and we are going through it emotionally right now. This is listen, if you are a power gamer who just wants a lot of combat, this might not be for you, but if you want a solid story with a lot of emotions and a lot of deep lore, we are probably your podcast. And we release episodes every Tuesday by noon EST.
Funny you should mention that. I'm a whore for lore. I'm ready.
So much lore.
So,
There's
we
so
do a lot
much
of other
lore.
things besides just the episodes of the podcast as well. So if you're just trying to catch up quickly, we do core recaps. So
Yes.
whenever we finish like a main story arc, we'll go back and do a summary as well as like talk about what we did in it, which I think coming up, Friday or Saturday, we're releasing the core 3 recap. I think because I'm gonna send that over to you tonight.
Yes.
And then we also do dramatizations, which we'll probably do another one soonish, which is our like behind the scenes lore of like what happened outside of the episodes.
I like those.
There's a lot that you can get out of listening to us besides just listening to a D&D podcast. So check us out.
Yeah.
Good plugs.
Good plugs. I'm gonna end it with everyone thanking again. Oh fuck. Okay.
Nice.
I'm gonna.
We have to restart the entire episode.
Yes, 2 more hours, guys. Let's do this.
But,
We.
Everyone's
lost my
entitled to 1 stroke per recording. It's fine.
We're going. Thanks again for everyone. And next week is I forgot my ukulele to do the music, but goodbye.
Today's film was Dungeons & Dragons: Honor Among Thieves, written by John Francis Daly and Jonathan Goldstein. The screenplay was written by Jonathan Goldstein, John Francis Daly, Michael Gillio, and Chris McKay. Go show some love on their various social media accounts. They made a movie, which is more than we can say here. If you liked our guests and didn't know them already, you can find them on social media as well as looking for Slay the Stars, or just look at our follows on our social media accounts. I know, personally, I can't wait to hear the next twist in the misadventures of Zem and Char. Stay tuned for our next episode, Super Mario Brothers.